there is a YouTuber that I've been following. Actually, Twitch streamer.
You got to hold my hand through this one.
I know, Ryan. This is something a little bit new to you, but you read the book.
I'm not big on Twitch. You know,
I'm not big on Twitch either.
I'd rather play my video games than watch them. But
what's really fun is that this is a YouTuber, Penguins. His name is Charlie. He's known as Moist Syndicate. This is somebody who is an influencer on the Twitch and YouTube's in the Twitch and YouTube space. I know him mostly from his reaction videos, as well as just his kind of like long history on the platform. I mean, he's like one of the, I don't know, some would say like kind of like the legacy YouTuber.
Do you have a photo or something?
I'm sure I can pull him up right here for you, Ryan. Of course. But
I don't even know what this guy looks like.
But we're talking about a comic book that he made. And it's pretty damn fun because this is something that I think low-key didn't get the credit that it deserves from our community, but it clearly is getting the credit that it deserves from his community. Because the project was immensely successful from, you know, the optics that I can see. We have a YouTuber / Twitch streamer. I know him mostly from like his YouTube videos and just his like commentary on life and stuff. But and like what's going on. But let's see here. The YouTube channel is Penguins 0. And you will recognize him. Let's take a look here. Bada bing. So I'm gonna get rid of all the audio and we'll put him up on the screen. So oh, and that's an ad.
I do recognize that guy.
That guy's name is Darth Vidar, I think. Maybe.
You can't skip it either.
So take a look at this. Because what happened was something that is a very beautiful thing. A community formed. An idea was had. And a project was created. And the project is dope. So
I've seen this guy.
You've seen him before, right? You've seen him before. And because I clicked, this is like, you know, his commentary on like Johnny Depp and stuff. That's why you have all these recommendations. But it's just like a fresh YouTube page. But Charlie, this guy kills it. He is an amazing influencer. I feel like he's one of the more entertaining influencers in the space because he just is like such a real dude. And he's been doing it for so long that he's earned the cred he has gathered from his community. So what's also really cool is that he did this project. And the project was something that grew out of a community like idea. Charlie did reactions to slap competitions. Are you familiar with slapping competitions, Ryan?
No.
Okay. So when I tell you slap competition, like what was the first thing you think of?
People hitting each other.
People hitting each other. Okay. So people do this professionally. They hit each other professionally, okay? So let me show you this. This is what I'm talking about. Watch. Boom. Look at this, Ryan. Just like, it's like, describe this for the comic fam who are listening.
This is way more professional than I was expecting.
It's like a arm wrestling type of professional. No, that's like they have to put chalk on their hands so that they're not sweaty. They're trying to get that grip. Yeah, and
this is like on ESPN or something?
Yeah, there's different channels that cover it.
I was expecting like some people outside the 7-Eleven or something, like a trailer park.
It's something just like
filmed on like an old camcorder from the 2000s.
So we have.
This is very professional. There's referees.
Dude,
there's multiple referees.
You have. I want to meet someone who is a referee of these slap championship.
How do you grade this? He slapped that guy.
Oh, you can tell like I got slapped because of the fingerprints.
That's
left
why they
from
put
the
chalk on their hands.
All right, so
he's fine. He's
slapping.
Staggering and like slumped up against the table. Oh, I can't even stand up. You slapped me so hard I can't stand.
Okay, so here we go.
I've never been slapped like that, so what do I know?
Charlie did reactions to. I know it's rough. Charlie did reactions to the slapping community, the sport of slapping. And then he decided to make a comic book.
Okay.
And that's where we are right now.
That makes this whole thing make a little bit more sense.
But here's the connection
I read the comic first.
Right.
Without knowing the background.
But now you know the background. Does it make the comic book that we're about to talk about make a little more sense, Ryan?
Slightly.
Fire Guy Ryan in the house. So we have Godslap. We're talking about Godslap today, comic fam. This is a digital read that's available, but it's also available in print through the website, and he's made variants of them that are sold out. And I think it's called Godslap the comic, right? Something like that. It's godslap.com. Oh, godslapbook.com. So here's the really cool thing about this book, because it's a bit bigger than a YouTuber slash Twitch streamer influencer making a comic book. He made an independent comic book well. He did what so many independent comic creators fail to do, which is not only serve their community and make marketing that's good enough to actually inform individuals that it exists. He was able to do such a great project, have it succeed so well, that he essentially sold out all the variant copies and introduced a comic book to a community who are largely not comic book collectors or readers or investors, which is why this crosses over to our channel, because Godslap is a production, a team that has sourced creators that we cover on our channel.
Right.
Who wrote this book?
Stephanie Phillips.
Of Grimm. Of Harley Quinn fame.
Correct.
Stephanie Phillips wrote this book. Also, we have a variant cover by
Vincenzo Riccardi.
Vincenzo Riccardi, hot damn comic fan. When I saw that this was a thing, like, first off, YouTuber making a comic book. We've talked about this before. Awesome. An amazing thing. I want to see more independent comics get made. However, when I saw the creative team attached to this, I was like, oh, damn, he actually got like comic book people.
We can do one.
We should do one.
First Penguins, next us?
I don't know. Let us know. However, what I have to say is this book was done very well. From production to the quality of the book to serving the community. We have characters who have essentially the power of like One Punch Man. When they slap somebody, well, at least this particular person, their heads explode like it's an episode of The Damn Boys.
Ah.
I almost touched the soundboard, but I didn't.
That's good. I saw the restraint happen. You went for it and pulled back.
So Ryan, how surprised were you? Because on one end, it's like, it feels like an independent comic book, right?
Yes.
But on the other end, you have some like powerhouses in the industry who are behind it. So look at this. Ricardo Jamie, Troy Petrie, Stephanie Phillips. How would you describe this comic?
See, yeah. These photos are, I wish I could have read it this way. I'll put it that way. I want to buy this in print, if only because the website experience, which I like the fact that you are able to, they give you options. They tell you, these are the two variants. You can't buy those anymore, but they do exist.
Right.
You can buy the cover A, or you can just throw down money, buy it digitally, and read it right now.
Right.
Which is a cool idea. Execution was a little off.
Yeah, the book just came out in May, and I gotta say, because I wanted to do this review quickly, I did purchase the digital read. It was tough reading it digitally. They gotta fix that off the site.
It's the reader.
Yeah, the reader mechanism. But outside of that, because I clearly was able to download the pages so that we can show a taste of the book, some real Sin City vibes. But also, there's another book we read recently that did the similar thing. Little Monsters, yes.
Talking about, yeah.
So as far as the artwork goes, oh, superb. Such great line work. Like inks are, I mean, it's beautiful.
Black and white with splashes of color here and there.
Oh, look at the rain. Oh my goodness. Black and white, splashes of color. And it is so violent and it's fun. It's kind of funny it's so violent. Or it straddles funny
that line.
Because it's so violent.
Because this guy runs up on all these people with guns who are like, stop where you are. And he's just like, I heard you. And then
boom.
Slaps
them. And the head explodes. And that is, there's a lot of like history that's kind of like written there's
a lot of lore in this book.
There's a lot of lore being introduced. But the bottom line is we basically have almost a, like, I don't know, a Judge Dredd type of society where there's a lot of crime happening and people are kind of just fending for themselves, and it's raw and it's violent. However,
it's a little funny.
It's funny because of the execution.
Right.
And knowing that this whole world was created from the experience of someone reacting to a YouTube video.
Which I did not know. I did not have that context. I open this book and I see this stuff happen. I'm like, oh, okay.
It adds like a whole layer of fun to reading this.
Yeah, knowing the origin story of the comic itself is a little helpful.
Yeah.
But I just love looking at this guy here. He sees someone running at him with his hand outstretched, like he's going to get slapped in the face. And he's just like, what? He's a little concerned, a little confused, and then his head just explodes.
His
like,
head explodes.
You're dead now.
The power. I mean, heck, just the artwork alone has me excited. I think that this is definitely accomplished something with the team up of creatives. However, we have a world where there are people who are like powered up to a degree. And this idea of slapping individuals has now transcended to a world where they're kind of super to a degree. They're taking like they're fixing the situations in violent ways.
It makes you wonder where this is going to go. That was the overriding feeling I had after finishing issue 1. Is like, what happens next? What could possibly happen next?
I like the idea that we have a universe that's been sprouted from this just YouTube commentary and a community themselves that made it be.
Yeah, I only hope that a lot of the people who bought this, who were fans of his YouTube stuff, I hope people actually like opened it and read it. Like, I can imagine people buying this just to support the guy they like.
I really think they did, because what I was surprised to see, and kudos, because I think that it could have been done intentionally, but I also think that he's a collector, Charlie, the kind of mastermind behind the whole thing. He clearly collects things and probably invests in some collectibles, because it says on the website that cover A you can purchase and they'll take it back to reprinting. Like they'll start printing it. They'll go back to the press. Print it. Essentially making the cover A nothing more valuable than the cover price. But they made variants, as we mentioned. Those variants was a 6,000 print count that specifically says those will not be reprinted. Those are the rare ones. Those are the ones that we're going to protect the collectible on. And that shows more thought into the collectible market than what we get in our own community sometimes. And that's what I respect. It's like, oh, wow, he low-key just did collectors a huge solid. And now when you go on eBay, you see these variants of what they're going for. Hot damn. He's not only winning his own community, he's winning for the comic collectors community. And that gets a thumbs up in my book. But you know what? There is a animation. Ooh, there's an animation, and it's damn cool. So we're going to show you the animation. I'm sure he won't mind. I just thought there's like a lot of time put into this, and clearly this is a win, because there are clearly thousands of individuals who have probably never bought a comic book that just got one for the first time.
Yeah.
And I think that that's a major accomplishment. You know, how do you get people into comics? Well, you got to get them comic books. So let's watch a little bit of this animation. And this isn't an ad or anything. I don't know him. I just think it's cool. So this right here is the music from Falcon Winter Soldier, for sure.
The Zemo dance?
The dance. I think so. What are we looking at, Ryan?
It's just very well made. Like, this looks like... Okay, this happened in the book.
This does happen in the book.
I remember
kind
that
of, low-key. Some of this happens in the book. We have it's like a dance party.
Like a nightclub.
In a club, in a nightclub. You kind of see the vibes people have in this universe.
Like
what they wear, what they look like.
Like an anime nightclub.
Yeah, absolutely. Someone just getting slaughtered.
No big deal, apparently.
It's
a robot.
So yeah, we also have cyborgs, type of crossing over of electronics with humans.
See, that's where like you get the promise of what's to come in this book, which is why I wanted to read the second one that I don't think exists yet.
I know it's like wishful thinking that every comic can have an animation this good to help market it.
That's the other thing.
But this right here is like
well made.
Well made, high bar has been set. You got to do something. If you can't do an animation this quality, if you want your comic book to make it in this industry, you got to do something. Boom.
Yeah.
So ridiculous, man.
Can you?
That's what I'm talking about.
There was a brief window of my time where I played Halo online.
Okay.
Back in the day.
Yeah, and dude, Charlie, his roots are from like Call of Duty back in the day.
This is how I would like. I was not good because
yeah.
I would run around and shoot
Me
people.
neither.
But like, I always enjoyed running right up to them and smacking them with the gun. You know, just getting right up in their face.
Just smacking them.
It's like you're not gonna win. But you're gonna scare them. You're gonna psych them out and freak them out and just run out. That's the vibe I got from this whole animation. Like
Sure.
These guys are running right at people for the melee move, which normally doesn't work in video games. At least works pretty well in this scenario.
Comic fam, what do you think? Slap God, a comic that's released through an influencer on the internet.
Is it Godslap?
Godslap. I put slap God. It's Godslap. I typed it on the thing wrong. Yeah, it's Godslap.
Godslap.
Godslap. It's out. You can get it. You can read it. But the variants you can't get unless you go onto like I don't know, eBay or something like that. But I want to know the community's thoughts on independent comics coming out right now and if they interest you, because some of the biggest changes in our marketplace that we've covered in the last 6 months have been alternative ways to release comic books. That's what it is. Like, don't get it twisted, comic fam. When we're talking about James Tynion, Donnie Cates,
Snyder.
Yeah,
Scott Snyder.
Scott Snyder.
Comicsology deal that he's got going on.
Eris Quinones,
right?
Also part of that comicsology deal with Variant Comics and Astonishing Times. These are different methods of getting comic books created, and through them, although some of it's digital, some of it's straight to graphic novel, a lot of it, including Substack, is dependent on one thing very particular. And that's there being a market of collectors who want to own scarce, high-end comic books. And that right there, if that's served, the rest of it works. And for the first time ever, we're seeing value and time put into those communities. Our community, the collector's market, the people who grade comic books, people who care about that damn spine tick. We're being served here. And Charlie, who's an influencer, just proved that if you do that right, you can make an entire world a reality. Amazing.
Yeah, I think that's the most interesting part about talking about this comic in particular today, is not just the things that happen within the pages of this comic, but the overall conversation about, like you said, the new ways to deliver comic books to people that aren't just, here's a previews catalog, go through and pick what you want to pre-order. That like the old school way of doing things. You gotta adapt and make waves with a new format or a new delivery method like this.
Look at Bad Idea Comics, a company that's pretty new over the last 2 years, and one of the biggest complaints about the company, but also one of the ways that they've thrived, is that they put all these parameters on how you get their comics. You can only get one at the store. The stores are on a contract. If they are found to have been selling multiple copies to one customer, they can lose their Bad Idea relationship entirely. We've seen that take place. So putting parameters on the collectible, first printings are the first printings, respect the numbers, one per customer, no messing around. Knowingly making these valuable comics valuable through the care and planning has made collectors value the books and then has uplifted the production of multiple titles because they need us, comic fam. They need the collectors. We're a big gear in this whole machine to make the whole thing work. That is if you want to buy funny books, if you want comics, Hot
We
damn.
hope you do.
We really
That's
do.
part of what this is all about. You got your collectors, you got your readers,
Mm-hmm.
you got your spec people.
That's right.
We're all comic kids at the end of the day. As long as comics exist, then I'm happy.